Hello,
I
everyone.
got here first. We did it.
Wednesday.
She's right there.
Pausing that ad in the background. We are very excited to dive into our webinar today and explore how Graphy's very powerful data visualization tool can be seamlessly embedded into Ceros to really help bring your data-driven experiences to life. My name is Liana, and I'm the community manager here at Ceros. Joined with me is Niall as well on the Ceros team and Andrew from the Graphy team, who I will let introduce themselves very shortly. But throughout the webinar, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to share them in the Q&A box at the bottom of the Zoom window, and we will make sure to answer them all at the end. But with that, I will pass it over to you to get started, Niall.
Thank you very much, Diana, and welcome everyone to the Graphy webinar. So to give everyone an introduction, my name is Niall, and I'm the product owner of Markup, but also this year I've been leading the revamp in some of our data viz. We had previously a data viz solution that we felt was okay, but didn't fit the needs of our customers. That's why we came across with Graphy. And with the Graphy team, today we have Andrew, and I'll let Andrew introduce himself.
Hey everyone, yeah, really great to meet you. Andrew, head of product here at Graphy. Really great to meet you. I'm based in London, so I'm a bit jealous of some people saying the weather's a bit warmer. It is already very cold here, so, or at least in the mornings, it gets a little bit warmer, but good to see someone's from Spain. Someone's here from Spain. Yeah, so just a bit of background. Now I'll go into a little bit more about what exactly Graphy is, but I've been at Graphy for about 5 years now, so lived and breathed charts for the last five or so years. So very much looking forward to giving you guys a demo on how to use the product, and also any questions I can answer at the end as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Andrew. So to kind of, before we dive in, this is a weird way to do it, but I'm going to tell you what Graphy isn't before we get into what Graphy actually is. So Graphy is focused on insights through charts and graphs. It doesn't cover things like maps and interactive timelines, and that's not a limitation of Graphy. It's more of a deliberate focus on just that linear scope of focusing only on storytelling through data via charts, graphs, and you'll see all of those as Andrew gets into it. If at any point you like what you see, I know a lot of people on this call already have access, but if you do and you don't have access, please reach out to your CSM and they can start that process for you as well. And as Liana already said, this call is going to be recorded. It likely won't take the full hour. It might. You might have a lot of very good questions, and we might go that far, which is totally fine. But if you do have any questions at any point, fire them into the chat whilst Andrew's giving his demo. He'll be able to answer them, and also I'll be able to pick out some of the best ones as well and answer them as well. Said that wrong. I won't pick out the best of them. I'll answer all of them. It doesn't matter if they're good or bad. They'll all be great. But anyway, finally, last bit I wanted to touch on before we get into this. This is a fresh partnership, and the Graphy team has moved really quickly to deliver some of the must-haves we've already said to them. Some of which I'll call out as Andrew gets into his demo. But your feedback will really help shape what way we work with Graphy in the future and what we kind of build out. So without further ado, I actually think it's best to start. It sounds weird. Best to start at the end. So what I'm going to do is share my screen. I'm always absolutely terrified of this part because I have no idea what I'm going to share. Let's see if I can make this perfect first time. Oh, there we go. Everyone can see Ceros, Graphy, ordinary charts, tell data. Good. So this is an experience, a studio experience that's been built out using Graphy charts, and I'm going to make sure to help everyone along, I am actually going to copy this and fire it into the chat, only because I'm happy for you to look at it now. Please don't look at it whenever Andrew is, I can't even share it in the chat. I will share this after the call then, whenever I've got the access to it. I want to make sure that everyone gets a chance to play around with it. But if I scroll down, I want to show you some of the big callouts. So there is a nice interactive element to Graphy in terms of there's the hover effects, and usually whenever this first loads, so I'll do that again. You do see that the chart pops in. So again, you can control the duration as well in Studio. But some nice callouts here is that there is a level for the viewer to take control of this. So let's say previous quarter I'm not as interested in. They could just click, then they can focus on maybe the emission scan or Texas branch. They can choose what they really want to view within the metrics. So you don't have to do all the storytelling. They can do some of that for you. A wee bit of engagement there. Scroll down, same thing is absolutely true. We've got a stacked bar chart, which Andrew will get into later, as well as some social follows. Let's say we wanted to just focus in on Meta rather than anything else. We could give it a TikTok, Twitter, and there we go. We can then focus in. The hover effects are there for users to kind of check out. I scroll down a bit further. We've got a line graph. There's a gold trend there, and we can call that out later, as well as a pie chart showing the annual expense. And the final one I will call out as well. We've got a very useful one that will show, I believe this is calorie goal across the duration of time. So using hotspots within Studio, we can then click. It shows actually a different chart, but again, it's keeping that journey for the user that they can kind of go along and see. Again, adding that interactive piece, but getting the information they need. And the final thing as well, we've got clickable events here. They could actually check in the average. All of these have the hover effects that are currently active. And we also have the final one, which is track your spending as well. All of this is built through Studio with Graphy embeds, which again, we'll show the entire journey once I pass this across to Andrew. And later on, I will also see about if we can get a wee showcase with Flex, which is obviously coming as well. Andrew, that's everything from my side. Would I be able to pass it across to you to get us into Graphy?
Absolutely. Let me share my screen. Cool. So, yeah, so as Now mentioned, Graphy really is a data visualization platform, but we do try and talk about ourselves slightly differently, and that is really about the angle of storytelling with data. So, a lot of your typical tools out there will help you build visualizations. Our focus is helping you build visualizations that properly tell stories to your audience, and that really has like some important aspects, and some of that is that annotation there. And I'll give you some demos in a second, but in terms of what Graphy looks like when you land, this is our website. There's a few resources here as well that you can come and check out. To log in, you just head over into the top right. There's two key flows to log in, a Google flow and then also an email flow. So the email, if you type in your email here, I believe we send you a code effectively that will come into your emails. Might come into your junk, just to call that out. So please double check that one. And then you'll be able to put in that code and get access to the product here. So I'll just sign in with Google nice and quickly. And this is what you'll land into. So this is Graphy Home. From here, you can see your sort of folders and charts that might not be fully organized yet. And you can click through. And I'm going to just show you some quick examples of some charts that have been created in Graphy. You've seen some great ones in Ceros as well. But just to get a feel of what we're talking about when we talk about storytelling. So the ability to craft goal lines, put in boxes to color certain areas that you want to call out, add annotations. These are called difference arrows, but call out particular trends or changes within your charts, annotations, stickers, that whole aspect of really just drawing that audience in. So there's a variety of different ways you can do that. And we'll get into a few in a second. Now, when you do land, there is a place for you to come and explore, and I would really encourage you checking out that first. So there's an area called templates here. A lot of these charts are just really nice and simple charts to get you going. So some standard bar charts, column charts, line charts, and so on. But as you scroll down, you'll find that some of these are a little bit more complex or focused on that storytelling angle. So definitely come and take a look at these. You can click on one of these to get you started. So you can actually select this. This starts you with that chart, and then you're able to edit it here. I will show a different flow in a second. But yeah, definitely come and check out here. The other thing I do want to show before I get into creating a chart is a very important aspect for you as Ceros users. So you get access to our brand kit area. So the brand kit area is really a place that you can sort of come pretty early on in your experience and set a whole load of guidelines for anyone who's creating charts in Graphy. And there's three most important things. One is a font. Right now we support Google fonts, so you can select a Google font from here. If you do have your own font, we do have a flow that you can let Ceros know, and then we'll actually upload this into your account for you. So please let us know if there's a particular font that you're interested in. The ability to add your logo. So that really is, if you do want to add your logo to charts, you can do so in the bottom right. And this is the place to come and upload those. And then finally, a selection of color palettes, or create a color palette here. And again, like I say, if you come create this first, this will then apply to sort of all the charts that you make within Graphy. And over on the right, you can obviously see what these charts roughly are going to look like as well. So jumping in, and hopefully I'm not going too fast for everyone, I'm going to create a new chart. So there's a nice big button here, create a new chart. And I will also call something out you might have seen on our website as well. We are a relatively AI focused product, but that doesn't mean if your company doesn't allow you to use AI, there are very much flows that allow you not to do that. So I will cover all of that in a second. But if you get that feeling when you land here, I just want to call out there are definitely flows for everyone here. So we do facilitate that. Now there are ways to add your data. So we offer a Google Sheet flow. If you are using Google, this does come with some benefits. Again, this is pretty specific to Ceros users, but you are able to connect to Google Sheet and then have that sheet live into Graphy. So that means as soon as you're making updates within the Google Sheet, they're coming through into your charts as well. The bonus there is that if you are doing that and you have a chart within Ceros, you kind of don't need to open up Graphy again, right? So you build your chart within Graphy, you put it into Ceros, and if you're making changes in your spreadsheet, they're also being updated in Ceros as well. But outside of that, we do offer Excel uploads, CSV uploads, and obviously to paste your data also. So I'm just going to use an example here from Google Sheets, just so you can see what the experience looks like. I have some data here. And within this spreadsheet, I have a tab called website traffic. So I can start importing that. So this is going to go grab the data. You can see it here. So this is, if I click on this, you can see this is the data that's come in from the spreadsheet. And what we start doing is just taking a look at that data and recommending some charts that you might want to actually build from this. So if you have big complex spreadsheets, this is actually a really great way to simplify because we do try and analyze what that data is up to. But if you want to continue without AI, which I will actually do this flow to begin with, just simply click down here, and this is going to take you straight into the chart builder. So you can see that I have this chart here. So I'm going to be dragging the viewport around a little bit, but over on the right-hand side is really where your sort of editing power sits. So the top one here is size. So this is just getting the ratio of your chart right in the first place. This matters slightly less for you as Ceros users because you will be embedding this within the Ceros experience and you're able to size it there. And our charts are very responsive. So regardless of the sort of bounding box that they're put into, they'll respond to that space and ensure that you're sort of getting the best chart available within that space. But you are able to come and set these just as a good starting point. The next one is where all our chart types and functionality sit. So we have an array of different chart types, column charts, bar charts, line charts. All of your core ones sit at this level. So for this one, I'm actually going to do a line chart. And you do have sort of a secondary layer of charts here. So say, for example, I actually wanted more of an area chart, sometimes called a stack chart. I can actually stack those on top as well. And just to show you what that looks like for a column, because that might be a good example, you can see this is stacked. This is stacked, grouped, 100% stacked. So we offer all these different variations within each of the chart type, but line chart's good. For those slightly curious, I'm just going to give you a quick demo of what that AI can do. Actually, just 1 second. I'm going to put our legend. So just one thing that I just quickly did there is you can move the legend. You can see that the legend was on the top here. I'm actually going to move it to the right. So for a line chart, that's sometimes very good practice. It makes it a lot easier to understand what your lines are referring to because you can just see it on the left-hand side here or right-hand side. But over on the left-hand side, I'm just going to show you some things you can do. So this is really, if you have some data and you don't love spreadsheets, just pop into Graphy. So for example, I could say, what is the total traffic? And so we can do effectively a bit of maths here. So this is going to understand the data that's within this chart, calculate a total. So hopefully it's just going to sum these two for us and put in a brand new line as well. So give it 1 second. Waste feels a little longer when you don't have when you're not talking to the actual person on the other side. But as you can see, it's calculated the total traffic here for us and sort of put that on the chart. So that's the sort of power you can see in here. There's loads of other things as well. So I could say, you know, this is, for example, daily data. I could be like show group by month, for example, by months. This would simply group the data by month. So there's just a bit of functionality sitting here on the left. Like I said, you totally don't have to do that. So you can see that it's come in and put it like months. You don't have to do that at all. It is an option for those that are a little bit curious though. So I'm just going to keep the original chart for now. If you are curious about editing this data though, it does sit in the bottom right here. So you can simply head over to this area here and actually see where that data sits. Because this one's connected to a Google Sheet, you are able to refresh, as I mentioned, and you can also select this toggle here, which is keep my data up to date, and that's going to keep that data nice and live now. So whenever you make any changes in your spreadsheet, that's coming straight into Graphy, into the Graphy chart. So we now have our chart. I'm going to stack this because I do think that's the right way to view this. I want to be able to see sort of that total traffic as well. And I do want to show some other things as well. So I want to, for example, see what our current traffic is, right? So what's our most recent values? What we can do is we have the context of headline numbers. We can simply go and add these now at the top of the chart. So without actually having to look or engage with this chart, we can quickly grab, you know, that core metric that we might be wanting to show our users. We do have totals, which would be looking at the sum over the whole time there, or the average as well. So all of those sit here. And we have a load of other, I would say, more deeper customizations. So how we deal with missing values, whether we set them as 0, smoothing the lines, adding data labels onto this chart. I'll show this, it's not going to be great for this one, but effectively for every data point, you can actually label them if that's important. Line thicknesses, abbreviations in decimal places. So a lot of additional functionality sitting in there. We also have some functionality for our axes. So if you're looking to either simplify by turning them off entirely, so you can see that's turned off the y-axis, or whether there's something else, whether it's making a logarithmic scale, set it where it starts from. So maybe we want to actually set this from 0, for example, and where we want to end. So we can actually put a custom value of how high we want to make this axis effectively. This is an area that is of a lot of interest, actually. We've received some feedback from Ceros users. It will be an area that we continue building out as well, both for X and Y axis, so along the bottom also. The next section is colors. So as mentioned, effectively, we have concept of presets, which are Graphy charts, but then also brands. So if you have come in and set your brand kits, that's what you're going to be sitting here. So those colors originally that you saw from me are those that we built in the brand kits. You can come and edit and customize all within here. You also can see that we have chart borders. That's something you can turn on and off, completely up to you, as well as the background as well. And this is one I just do want to call out for the Ceros use case. There is quite a useful one here, which is called transparent backgrounds. So this allows you to basically make the whole background transparent. So if you're going to embed this within a Ceros experience, have a nice gradient on your slides or website, then this is a great thing that you can put in, and it really makes it feel nice and seamless as well. For now, I'll leave it as.
Can I just flag one quick one? Because there was questions came in. Apparently, I have to click answer live. There we go. Are these toggle options available to the end user on the Ceros page? It's similar to what we was in the experience earlier, but I just want to flag it as well because it is worth knowing what your user sees and they can interact with versus what they can't. It would only be the figures in the top or the icons in the top left. It depends. You can move them around, Andrew, but if you want to showcase that, it's just basically where it says organic, where it says paid. Those three elements are the only. So again, you can adjust the chart, but that's all of it. Outside of that, I don't believe there's anything else that the users can change. So you control that a little bit.
Yeah, totally. Not currently. This one is not too close on the roadmap, but I promised my engineers that I wouldn't go crazy and get too excited with all the features we would like to put in this product. But at one point we will definitely look at actually a similar experience to what now showed you, where you would be able to view this as monthly, yearly, or weekly, and a user might be able to actually toggle those and interact with the data in different ways. That is a little bit down the road for us, but it's definitely on our roadmap. So if people are interested, now's your time to give a shout, and then I'll see how many votes it gets, and then we can prioritize it on the roadmap.
And I do want to just flag, I know Andrew, you've just kind of answered that one for the bar chart that bar graph that changes depending on the year. Obviously, as I say, Graphy is something they're looking at, feedback taken. However, can you do that within Studio via hotspots and yes, you can. There's elements that you can definitely utilize to get that in there. It's a little bit more work than what Andrew's suggesting that they're looking at. So again, we're constantly trying to make this easier and faster. But yes, you can do that within Ceros.
Amazing. Let's give this a decent title as well. Great. So to just run through the rest of this is where you can now start really adding that storytelling angle on top of your chart. So the first one is a narrative. So with your data, it's always useful, obviously, to add a bit of narrative or context. So you can add titles, subtitles, which sit here, a caption which sits at the bottom. So if you really want to expand or discuss a certain point, this is a great place to do it, as well as providing a source as well. So if your data is being referenced from another source that you do want to reference, you can provide both the URL and also just a name. So you've got a shorthand there for the source as well. And that, if it is embedded, so if you embed in Ceros, that will be a link that people can obviously then click on and go find where the original data was. And then finally, also that logo we mentioned. So that's also sitting there also. And then font type as well. So just to cover off this, as Graphy, we support sort of 4 general buckets for fonts. That one that I showed you that sits over in brand here, that is what appears here in brand. So if you use that brand, that's what's going to be applied to the chart as a whole. Now that is a global, that is applying the font globally to the whole chart. So if I change this, for example, you'll see all my fonts change. What we do allow as well for caption areas is the ability to be more specific. So maybe for example, in this case, I want to use this font type just for the title. I can do that. And then leave the rest as a different font type as well. So we do have that flexibility, and that gets applied to subtitles, captions, and so on. So there is that flexibility also. I'm just going to turn these off for now, just so it's a bit cleaner. So that's the element side. Now, on top of that, so in addition to building a narrative, we also offer a whole load of features to annotate on top of this chart as well. So one of the really great ones is highlighting. So this allows you to either highlight specific data points. So I could come in here, for example, and I could highlight this data point. I think this data point is really important as well. Or I could actually come and highlight a whole line or a whole series. So I do want to call more attention to this. And you can see how the line behind has softened. And if I remove that, you can see how they're both of equal weighting again. So the idea here is that if you want to pull certain aspects out of your chart, this is a really nice experience. Personally, I think this is really great when you're looking at column charts. Now, this is not the best example of data to be using for a column chart, but I could do a very similar thing here where I'm highlighting a whole stack. So for example, I want to draw attention to the most recent time here, and you can see that I can pull out this and really draw attention to that as well. But coming back to what we had, let's do that. And let's just remove some highlights as well. So you can see it's nice and easy to sort of engage with that there. Difference arrows. So this is showing progress across different charts. For some people, this is a really crucial feature. So this allows you, whether it's to show the actual absolute increase, the percentage increase, or just a proportion change, allows you to call this out and really draw attention to it. So if there's a really important story here, you can see how quickly we can really grasp that change over time. With that one, and then arrows. So this is the ability to effectively start annotating. So I could add this in a text box here. You know, something important happened. Hopefully next time I'll have a better wording than just something important happened. But for the purpose of this demo, hopefully that gives you an example of what you can be building across these. So this is really just a chance to sort of build out on these as well. And then finally, hidden slightly is just our wheel. So this is for specific data points. So if you are saying something like launch happened here, this attaches to this data point now. So if you add more data or whatever, this is really tied to that data point. And again, a great way to communicate maybe some timeline, right, of things that have gone on over time. So that's annotations. And then finally, I know there's a lot, but the final section here is goals, trend lines, and averages. So this is just another way, again, to communicate. So if you want to show key trends over time, if you want to set a goal, so this is a demo or an example of a goal, you can set this to whatever you like. So it could be 30,000, for example. And you can see this just pulls in a point. And this is a custom label. So again, we could say goal for a year. Just keep it nice and short, and you can see that that's come in there as well. So there are all your aspects. Now, once you get your chart, so say this chart is the one that I'm really happy with, I can go ahead and share this with the Ceros experience. There are two ways. I'm going to show you one way, and I think Brendan might show a different example just so you can see both. So I'm going to generate a link here. So a link, if I just copy this, I can actually just quickly show you. This link is a standalone link. You can view it. You can send this around, but you can also embed this within the Ceros experience as well. So this is a template that I've just pulled from Ceros. And I'm just going to want to add my charts just on this right background here. So let's just delete a few things just really quickly. And then I just head over to just this embed object here, simply paste in that URL and then hit go. You can see how easily that's coming there now. So I can simply do that. I might just change these ratios slightly. And then if I go and hit play, and scroll down, you shall see, hopefully, the live part of the demo that didn't work. Here it comes. There you go. Hey. And that's fully responsive as well. So you can see that comes in at any size as well. And like I say, this chart really tries to adjust to its environment. So we really focus on making sure this chart is nice and clear, whatever size or ratio it's been given. And it has that slight interactive element as well. So I think I shall pause there unless I am missing anything else now that you want me to cover.
No, man, that was perfect. So there's gonna be a Q&A at the end of this, but to be honest, I think it would be a perfect time now with the way we've flown the flow of this. Um you've seen Andrew share you've seen Andrew share his graph within the sales experience within Studio. Now, naturally, I'm sure most of the people on this call know that we also have Flex coming up, which is why we have Brendan on the call because the way that we bring Graphy into Flex is also a major component to make sure that data viz is easy and simple in that environment as well. So, Andrew, if you want to stop sharing your screen and we'll pass it across to Brendan, and then once Brendan's given us this quick showcase, we will get some questions in.
Fantastic. Thanks, Niall. So I wanted to show a quick version of a Graphy experience embedded in Flex. So I just have this in here as kind of my embed tool. I drew out and just pasted in the Graphy code here. And everything is fully responsive. Let me get rid of this new one. So if I go out, you see it is across all of my breakpoints, just kind of automatically working. We can also kind of animate things on top of it or even the iframe itself if we came in here and put an animation on here. So maybe as the user scrolls, we'll have this scale in a bit, go preview that. You see the graph can be taken up here, scrolled in, fits across all devices.
And that is definitely a big call out that I want to make clear as well. It's in Studio, you will see, and that's fine. It will say embedded object, embedded graphic. You don't see it until you preview it. You'll see it, that's fine. within Flex, you don't have to go into preview every time, you get it immediately out of the box. And then also it will be scalable across your device types, which is another massive win. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you guys see how that also interacts within Flex. Perfect. Seeing as we're going to sit in silence if I don't take control of the conversation now. So, Brendan, do you want to stop sharing your screen? And the next element that I'm going to ask, we're going to go into Q&A a little bit, but before we do, Andrew, remind me, I may have missed this. Did you talk about auto updates for Sheets? Did I miss that? You
Yeah,
did.
I did briefly touch on it. Yeah, so just for
Oh,
anyone who did miss it, yeah, so for Google Sheets we offer auto update, which really means that if you connect via that Google Sheets flow that I did, and there's a little toggle, I can just actually let me just quickly show you as well.
while Andrew shows this, the reason I call this out is because this is a different kind of revelation as well for both Studio and Flex, which if you plug that, let's say that Google Sheet into anything else, that's live data that will immediately go into Flex or Studio. It will update as your Google Sheet updates, go straight into Graphy. It is fairly immediate. So that it makes your experience a live experience, which again, it's just a cool aspect of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just if you head over to the edit data section, head down to keep my data up to date and toggle that on. It is immediate in the sense that hopefully it will feel immediate most of the times. Technically, there could be up to a like 5 minute lag, but nothing more than that. So hopefully for most people's use cases here, 5 minutes is plenty of time. But yes.
Perfect. Just because I can take ownership of this now, I'm going to change the structure, and we've got Q&A coming in. So Andrew, Brendan, I'm just going to fire questions at you because I'm going to start off with Brendan. Brendan, silly question. What is? It's not a silly question. Not everyone knows what Flex is. I get that. Brendan, would you be able to describe Flex in a quick sentence?
Yeah, Flex is the new product we're building at Ceros, specifically focused on being able to build content responsively. So we've reimagined what it's like to build content inside of Ceros. It's all built on HTML5, so really great benefits with accessibility, SEO, page performance, and then can embed really well things like Graphy, kind of see things live on the canvas. So very excited to get it into the hands of people. It's currently in a beta coming in the next month to GA.
That was professionally done. Thank you very much, Brendan. On to the next one. We do have, can we control the animation of the graphics, duration, delay type of animation? So as Brendan kind of shown within Flex, there's elements that you can control of the embedded object itself, which works quite well. So you, again, it can come in from left to right if you want, and that's the same with Studio. Whenever it comes to the interactions that exist within Graphy itself, they are refined at the moment. Whether that's something on the Graphy roadmap for the future, Andrew, you can speak to. I don't know if that is at the moment, of whether there'll be additional interactions. It's all open to feedback, I guess the answer is, but
The answer is it's all open to feedback. Absolutely. It is something we actually didn't think was as important. But I've got to be honest, every time we demo it with Ceros, that is one of the first pieces of feedback we get, which is like, how can we control this animation? And we completely get it as well, especially for if you're hosting this on websites and so on. So it is something we're looking into. I can't give an exact timeline yet, but it's definitely possible from our side, and we'll definitely be looking at it.
well, you nailed that one as well, Andrew. Thank you very much.
Yes.
One from Ashley. Are you able to control the fonts and colors of the annotations you're demonstrating, such as the change in the color of the tooltip from black to another brand color?
Yes, great question. There are some ways, so let me just share my screen again. Yeah, so there are a few things actually I want to call out here. So the first one is that with color for text as a whole. So I'll show you a couple of different things. So we might actually say something like organic traffic dominates. Gosh, thank God my spelling is doing well today. Uh, Organic traffic dominates our total traffic or something like that, our total traffic. Now, the one thing we can do here is if we want to pull out certain aspects, and this applies to all text areas, we can actually color it. So again, what you might want to do here is actually color this. So you can see that Within my color options, I've got some preset colors, but then I also have the ability to select from the actual chart colors as well. So I can start tying parts of our text, right, to the actual chart itself. And we can do this in the caption. And it's also a great example of that is if you're actually writing a little chunk of caption, you can actually call out um, specifically where you're relating to on the chart. Now, in terms of, sorry, I've got a few things on my screen here. In terms of this annotation text, you can actually do a very similar experience with that as well. So, for example, I can select sorry, let me start again. For the text color, I can select here, so I can make this, the exact same color. I can make this a little bit larger, and I could choose a specific font just for this. So at this point, I might choose to do my brand font here. So important. Now the question was, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was that this is a black comment. Now this is not editable just yet, but we are looking to offer that for these. But for text annotations, we actually offer the ability to do something very similar. So this is now the same color. They're both the same color, which was a bit poor from me. So let's make this default so you can actually read it. But you can see now that I can actually start building tags that are different colored to align with brands, to align with parts on the chart. So we can, call this important, for example, and so on. So this is all sitting within that text annotation piece. When it comes to those specific ones for data labels, it is around the corner. We are looking to make the experience of these pretty much exactly the same for the annotation on the data point as well.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Andrew, and thank you very much, Ashley. I believe Ashley was one of the early testers I've spoken to before, so thanks for the question. Yes, on to the next one. Andrew, yes, can you see you've already been typing back to anonymous.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But everyone's got the same name, anonymous attendee. It's a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not joking. Sorry, bad humor.
To that one, I was going to just message it, but if you are having, that shouldn't be the case. If you're having what looks like an error with visualizing the data, do you mind just reaching out and customer support on Graphy? It
Do you,
comes to,
Andrew, that would be a great. We haven't done that. Can we show
yes,
it to everyone what way we reach out? Because I think that's going to be very helpful.
yeah, it's a very
The
good point.
reason being, by the way, if you do run into issues, you can contact the CSMs. Graphy is obviously a tool that we're partnered with, so be able to get direct contact with Graphy if you do encounter issues. This is the best, fastest way.
Totally, yeah. So if you come down to the question mark or help down in the bottom left, click here. There's a few options for you. First of all, if you want to come check out our changelog, you can come see what we're up to just here. And then we have a few different flows. So if you're reporting an issue or a bug, select this one. If you want to request a feature and let us know. So if you, off the back of this call, have some really great ideas on how we could improve the product, we really want to hear that. So head over to here and sort of do that. There's also, it's a board as well. So you're more than welcome to come and upvote other sort of feature requests sitting on this also. So you might find that you're all having very similar ideas, which we'd love to see. But yeah, if you've got an issue, please just select this one and report this for us. We get all that information and then we can get back to you nice and quickly on that one. You shouldn't be getting that would be the answer.
Perfect. If you want to, I think Andrew, it says you're typing an answer, so I can't get rid of that one that you've just answered. But we'll
Yeah,
go.
okay.
Can we add additional logos or graphics within the graph? For example, if we hover over a certain point, it would show a brand logo. Oh, I love the idea. Or would this need to be done in Studio? Regarding adding logos, I know there is definitely ability to add elements, such as logo. I've done that myself, Andrew.
Yeah, it's just is really specific at the moment for an actual logo and image. Unfortunately, it's just in the bottom right, so you wouldn't be able to do it on the chart. So for now, I would recommend using the Ceros experience. Again, it is definitely something that's on our roadmap. Um, it's highly requested from the sense that if you're referring to maybe brands or something on your chart and you want to show their logos as well, that seems really important. So um, unfortunately, I can't give a concrete timeline on this one either because it's not top of our list, but I do promise that one's also soon.
Oh, I love that one. If a graph is embedded in Ceros experience and the experience is published, if I update in Graphy, will those changes be public experience? Great question. It updates. Yeah, it's immediate. If you update your Graphy, it will update in both Flex and Studio immediately. And Brendan kind of is smiling and nodding as well because we've seen how nice it works. So yeah, any adjustments that ever need to be made will be made live across your experience. Um, and do we get logins for our company or it needs to be done individually? Again, it's all just a case of reaching out to the CSM. So whether the company reach out, whether you do, they'll be able to initiate that conversation, and it'll be very, very straightforward. And usually, I think in the course of everything me and Andrew have already set up, everyone kind of gets access the day they kind of go to the CSM and ask for it. So it's a simple enough process. If you do run into an issue and want to ask more questions, my email is there and you can reach out to me as well. And will there be hotspots in Graphy? There will not be hotspots in Graphy. That's only within the Ceros Studio element. Graphy have their own kind of everything else going on in the back end for them. That's nothing relating to hotspots. Although I do see what you mean in terms of if there's an interactive element that allows uh, for more interaction, if you were to hover click on elements. Andrew, I don't want to speak for Graphy. I doubt that. I don't know if that's something on your end at the moment, but
Not quite, not
yeah.
quite, but definitely. I think the example that you sh saw on Ceros is a prime example of some use cases we do see. So
Hmm.
we will be looking at it, but again, this one's a bit further down the track. There's a bit more complexity to it as well, of just how we all structure data and so on. So
Uh, Perfect. And I did have one final element that I wanted to cover for you, but typical fashion, it's probably completely evaded my brain. Um, oh, am I going to completely forget what I was going to say? Um, yes, it appears that I do. Oh no, the final thing I will add because it's going to make Andrew sweat a little bit, but we did have a discussion earlier, and it is something that has been requested by I'm sure a number of people on this call. We love Graphy and the interaction that it offers, and also the hover effects. We have had suggestions from a number of different users, and if anyone wants to provide a thumbs up in the chat if it's something they're interested in, let me know. But some users have said that they would prefer not to have the hover effects just because it maybe hides certain portions of the chart they don't want to have active, uh, or they don't want to hide. So that is something that they are exploring. Now, that's not to put a timeline on it. That just shows you how quickly Graphy take on our feedback and add that into their roadmap. They've already done the transparent backgrounds as well as the brand kit, and also I will add the custom fonts. If you have a specific font that you need to work with, you cannot work with anything else. All we need is I believe it's called the WAF2 file. Send that
yeah,
our way. We get that within 7 days, so that you'll be able to utilize that within Graphy. We have a few final. Oh, that everyone's going mad. But uh, I will answer how much is the add-on to Ceros per user? It is $500 per seat. If you speak to the CSM, they can assist you with that. Are the Graphy templates? Yes. So if you have a look at if you have a look at the template section, there we go. I would highly recommend going in there because it just gives you an idea of you don't really think about graphs and charts at the start. You kind of like, I'll take the easy option. This really gives you a lot of inspiration for what way you want to work. How can I create a Graphy account without Ceros access? If I want to use it separately, completely fine. If you go to the Graphy.app page, you will be able to see the pricing and the login. You'll notice that Brendan's not smiling, but Andrew's nodding along. He's loving that question. But yes, feel free to go across to their website and you can sign up there. There's some benefits that you miss, but of course you can create charts and graphs. You'll be able to see all of the offerings there.
just one thing to quickly call out on that one, depending on how you do that experience, if you're looking to use the same email address, so you might be using it still for work, but not for Cirrus use cases, and say you already have a Cirrus, is already got an account within Graphy via Cirrus, over here, if you hit on the top left and hit demo account, this is the concept of teams. Hopefully, this is not too confusing. The concept of teams. Within this, you can build more than one team. So you can have your Ceros dedicated account for Ceros use cases, and then you're able to create additional teams. So you can see I've got some other teams here. And within these teams, you can then so you can just simply create a new team. That's where you could create a separate team to your Cirrus one, and that would put you onto a free tier, a Graphy, and then if you needed to upgrade, the flows all through there as well. So that's just one way to sort of do that. The other thing just to call out is team settings, maybe just really quickly. By default, with Cirrus teams, what will happen is when we're informed that one of you would like an account, a Cirrus account, we will create them the back end, which means that anyone from your company will, if they simply just log into Graphy, they will instantly, effectively, once approved, join that. So obviously you need to get sign off, but then that flow is very smooth to join that experience. So you don't have to always be inviting people individually as well.
Perfect. Great answer, Andrew. Thank you very much. And you've seen how clunky that was. You just go through the Ceros experience where I'm joking. It was lovely. Thank you very much.
Smooth.
So can you have multiple graphs in one Graphy file that shows different info? I love this question as well. Andrew, can you remind me, are we able to do boards? I don't want it, it's a consideration Graphy had previously. I don't know if they're pursuing it still, but
We're not quite. I would say if it's a real need, definitely reach out to me. So again, just go through Graphy customer support. It goes to me anyway. So it's Graphy customer support right here. But we do have the concept of a board. So I think that is something I demoed at the beginning, kind of secretly, because it was a really great way to show everyone. So this is a board here, and you can see how I've got many charts in one place. Unfortunately, we're not fully supporting this feature. So if I do give you access to it, it will be just, please bear in mind, it might be slightly buggy at times. It's something we're trying to work on a new solution that's a lot better.
do you know what? This is the perfect time to emphasize as well, which is we at this stage we've got a growing partnership now with Graphy. Graphy put in changes constantly, and we are seeing Ceros users pick up Graphy faster and faster, and people are starting to really get into it. One of the things that allows us is getting feedback, and so if you are putting in graphs, and you're like, can I just put in one graph that has all of them in it? That let your CSM know, or let on the calls that always comes back to us. So if you do start using, and that is a big ask, let us know, because that immediately comes back to the Graphy team, and that's how we kind of start to analyze what the new features should be. There's already so many on the table, so really appreciate the question. Is it possible to add a filter to the graph?
Yes. So by filter, I imagine you might be wanting to filter a date range or something like that. So let
Not
me
like an
demo that.
Instagram filter.
Oh, oh
Um,
no.
So, Andrew's not used to Brendan's sarcasm yet. Yes, okay, yeah, yeah.
She
Um,
caught me off my screen sharing experience just then. I was like, oh gosh. Um, yes, so let me just show you quickly. So right now, it is through the AI flow that we offer those. If I just type here, let's say I want to show, say from April onwards. So filter dates from April onwards. This will just filter the data, hopefully, from April onwards. I love doing live demos there. So,
oh man, take the risk. That really shows your passion in the tech.
yeah, exactly. Let's see. So it should be around here that we see something. Um, yeah, so there you go. So from 7th of April, because it was weekly and the last one was 31st of March. So there you go. And you can see also when you do these things, there's a load of ranges. So we could group these, we could create new data columns effectively, so that adding them together and so on. This will talk through what's been done. So you can see we filtered dates from April 2025, and these are the things we selected as well. So I will say if you do have complicated spreadsheets, I personally find Graphy genuinely such a game changer for not having to do complex things in spreadsheets that drive me crazy. Simply just jumping in here and doing those. So filters, group bys, all of that you can easily do in here.
Thank
And
you
the
very much.
Instagram filters are on its way. So
Yeah. Um, I will. I will add that Andrew's already kind of suggested or spoken to it earlier that there is the AI functionality. Now, we've had a lot of different calls, and we are aware that some people really AI pro, like, yep, but that's fine, we'll use that. Some aren't able to use it due to, again, security reasons, which is totally fine. We have the functionality both in there for that shows that you can have your data read via the AI, or you can just have Graphy do that for you. Both are very seamless and quick. Andrew, I do want to just flag that I think it's came up in conversation before. For those filters, you just showed the AI one. Is the filtering without the AI? So again, whether it be across a date range, is that something that's being considered, or is it not? Not at the moment.
being considered, but we'd like to hear feedback on that one. So so far the feedback has been really good about the AI filtering. If it's a need for your business not to use AI or you're finding that experience poor, definitely please reach out. But currently we're trying to stick with a single flow for that one.
Thank you very much. Unless there is any other questions that are really going to come in late in the chat, oh, go for it. There you go. Bang on. Thank you very much.
Is
By
it
the way,
Brendan?
there you go, Brennan. I'll let you do that wee announcement.
Yeah, October 22nd. Very soon.
I've got to say, it looks amazing. Got to say, very curious by the product.
We could all just sit here and give each other pats in the back for the end of the call. Guys, we
Yes,
if,
such a
if
sell. They paid me to do it. No jokes, they
if
did.
if there is any other questions, please fire them in now, or otherwise you have, I believe, myself and Andrew's email. We are constantly looking for feedback as people get up and adopt with Graphy. The learning curve really suggests that once people do adopt it, the amount someone asked earlier, is there a limit to graphs? Thankfully, there's not because of the fact that how many people are bringing them into their experiences, which is a great sign. As I say, speak to your CSM. I can look to see if we can share out that example that I showed earlier. We also have quite a lot of educate material, and there's quite a lot of material in the Graphy website as well. That's everything. I'm gonna thank everyone for joining. And Liana, I don't know if you're in the background. I'm happy to close this out if you'd like, or if it's webinar tradition, you can.
No, you can go for it.
Ah, perfect. Thanks very much, everyone, for joining. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing Graphy and getting just a show and tell of it. Thanks, Andrew, Brennan, Liana. Everyone have a lovely day. All the best.
Amazing. Thank you, Ron.